So good morning and welcome to Illinois Works NOFO GATA Pre-Qualification session. Illinois Works is under the leadership of Deputy Director Dr. Norman Ruano. We are excited to have you join us this morning for our NOFO pre-qualification session. I do want to acknowledge several key members of the Illinois Works team. So when I call your name, if you could come off mute and say hello to our guest. The first one is Ms. Monica Pruitt. She is one of the Illinois Works grant managers. Monica?
Thank you, Gia. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us, and a special thank you to the Office of Accountability for presenting today. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Next, we have Dr. Anna Bedard. She is a training analyst and program coach.
Welcome. Good to have you here.
Thank you, Anna. We also have Dr. Jeff Doolittle. He is also a training analyst and program coach.
Good morning, everyone. Nice to be with you.
I would also like to introduce Dr. Carlita Alston. She is a training analyst and program coach.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today.
And I will introduce myself. My name is Gia Suggs. I'm professional development lead with the Illinois Works program. So we're excited to have you join us today. Please keep in mind that this session is being recorded. We are very excited to have our guest presenter today, Mrs. Amber Broughton. Her pronouns are she and her. She is the Technical Support Manager with the Office of Accountability, Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. So Amber, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us and being willing to facilitate this session for us. Amber, I will turn it over to you.
All right, great. Thank you, Gia. So my name is Amber Broughton, and I'm with the DCEO Office of Accountability. So today I'm going to be talking about GATA and the GATA Grantee Portal. I'll be talking about pre-qualification and kind of other requirements, what to expect as a grantee. So I will review the DCEO grant process. I'll discuss the Illinois GATA Grantee Portal. I'll go over pre-qualification requirements. I'll briefly discuss the notice of funding opportunity kind of in more general terms and what information you can find in that document. And then I'll discuss what to expect after receiving a grant award with DCEO. So this slide shows a big picture overview of the DCEO grant process. So from pre-qualification all the way to the closeout of the grant. All pre-qualification items must be in good standing before you apply for the grant. A Fiscal and Administrative Assessment Internal Controls Questionnaire, or ICQ, is due every state fiscal year in the GATA Grantee Portal. So once you have those pre-qualification items in place and in good standing, then it's time to submit application documents. Those application documents are then reviewed by a merit review committee. Every applicant will receive notice from DCEO if they are awarded the grant they applied for or not. Next, it's time for the grant agreement. So all applicants that are to be awarded the grant will receive a Notice of State Award, or NOSA, for them to accept in the GATA Grantee Portal. After that NOSA is accepted, then you will receive an introduction from your assigned DCEO grant manager, and they will begin developing the grant agreement. So the grant agreement is the document that's going to lay out all project expectations and all grant requirements. So the grantee reviews and signs the grant agreement. DCEO reviews and signs the grant agreement, and then that grant agreement is considered executed. Next up is the periodic reporting section. So as the grantee begins implementing project objectives, periodic financial reports and periodic performance reports will be due to your DCEO grant manager. The grant manager and other DCEO staff reviews and accepts documents or they may ask you for additional documentation. Then the grantee is reimbursed for expenditures listed in those reports. Monitoring is needed for adherence to the terms and conditions of the grant agreement. Also want to note that annual audit reports will be due in the GATA grantee portal. And after that, it's the closeout of the grant. The grant will be closed or possibly extended once the grant period ends. All right, so I've used this term GATA. What does that mean? That refers to the Grant Accountability and Transparency Act, which adopted the federal grant guidance and regulations that are codified in 2 CFR Part 200. So we're taking the federal guidance and applying it to Illinois state grants. This is used across all Illinois state agencies. It's used to remove duplicative processes, as well as increase accountability and transparency. If you are interested in learning more about 2 CFR Part 200, we've got a link in the chat for more information about that. All right, the GATA grantee portal. This is the statewide grant management system. It's used for grant activity across all agencies. So if you've had a grant with DCEO before, or if you've had a grant with another state agency, you're likely already familiar with this one. But if not, you will be soon. So if you're brand new to the portal, you're going to want to click on the button in the middle that says Create Account. If you already have a portal account, then you'll click on the button to the left that says Grantee Portal Sign In. So that portal is at grants.illinois.gov/portal. If you're brand new to the GATA portal, I recommend that you check out the GATA New User Guide. So we've got the link to this PDF. It contains step-by-step instructions for registering in the portal. I definitely recommend checking this out if you're brand new or if it's been a while, or maybe you have a colleague that needs to register in the portal. This is a helpful guide for that. Also recommend checking out gata.illinois.gov. This is the website created by the Grant Accountability and Transparency Unit over at the Governor's Office of Management and Budget. So this unit is considered, they're the statewide experts on all things grants and all things GATA. They have a large amount of information, manuals, reference sheets, trainings on several grant and GATA related subjects. So if you're interested in kind of taking a deeper dive on a particular grant subject, I recommend checking out that website. All right, so I've used this term pre-qualification. What does that mean? The state of Illinois has defined a set of requirements for all organizations seeking to receive grant funding. So being in pre-qualified status demonstrates that an organization has met all of the legal requirements and has obtained all the necessary registrations. So you do need to be in pre-qualified status before applying for the grant. You need to be qualified status by the application review date by the state awarding agency. It's also something that you're going to want to maintain for the entire grant lifespan. And it'll also be important if you wish to continue to apply for grant funding. So this is an important one to go into the GATA grantee portal and check. All right, so this is a screenshot of how your pre-qualification status could look like in the GATA grantee portal. So you scroll down from the main portal page and you'll see pre-qualification status. So it's listing all of the pre-qualification items. There are, in this example, there's 2 items in red. So the items in red require action by you, the entity, the organization, and they need to be addressed. So in this case, their SAM.gov account and their Illinois Secretary of State, something is going on. So there is an issue that needs to be addressed. So just to the right of that red box, you'll see the help button. So you can click on that help button to receive more information on how to remediate that issue. You see there's an item in yellow. So the items in yellow are considered pending. Nothing that you need to do with those yellow items. It is usually something that is being reviewed or is being evaluated and should work itself out within a day or two. So definitely check out if there are any red items that you need to address because you'll need to correct those issues to get in good pre-qualified status. All right, so next up, I'm going to go through one by one each of these pre-qualification items and what you need to do for these. So first up is a SAM.gov account. So you need to have an active registration with SAM.gov, System of Award Management, and it must be validated annually. When you register in SAM.gov, you will receive a UEI number or Unique Entity Identifier number. This is used in SAM.gov, but you'll also need this number, you'll need to add it into the Illinois GATA Grantee Portal. Please be sure when you are registering in SAM.gov that your registration is set to public, not private. If your registration is not set to public, then the federal site, SAM.gov, cannot sync properly with the state site, the GATA Grantee Portal. So you want to make sure it's set to public. Another issue that we often see in accountability is that folks will start the registration, will receive that UEI number, and then they'll stop. There are more steps involved in the registration, so please complete the entire registration. That is the requirement for pre-qualified status. I would say with this pre-qualification item probably takes the longest compared to the other items I'm going to discuss. Completing the entire registration can take 7 to 10 business days for the SAM.gov site to process. So please keep that in mind. Don't leave this one until the day that that a grant application is due. You are going to need some time to get through that, and you can also let us know if you have any questions. All right, Federal Employer Identification Number, or a FEIN number. Your organization, your business likely already has one of these, but if you do not, you can request one from the IRS free of charge. Once you add the FEIN into the GATA Grantee Portal, nothing else that you need to do with that one. If there is an issue like a FEIN lock, we'll be able to know right away because it will automatically update if there are any issues with your FEIN number. All right, another item on the pre-qualification list is that you cannot be on the federal excluded parties list. This identifies entities excluded from receiving federal contracts or other type of federal financial assistance. These exclusions are also referred to as suspensions or debarments. If you are placed on this list, it will automatically update for us. It will let us know right away. And if your entity is on this list, they are not eligible for state of Illinois funding because they're not in pre-qualified status. All right, so to do business with the state of Illinois, entities must be registered with the Illinois Secretary of State, and they must obtain a certificate of good standing. This certificate demonstrates that you're in full compliance with their state regulations. So you'll need to obtain that at the Secretary of State's website at ilsos.gov. They do have a special section of business resources that can assist businesses and organizations obtain that certificate of good standing. The exception for this pre-qualification requirement is governmental entities. They are not required to obtain a certificate of good standing. So everyone else, nonprofits, businesses, they need to obtain that certificate. Governmental entities do not. Next up is the Illinois Stop Payment List. You cannot be on the Illinois Stop Payment List. If you are on this list, this means that the organization has fallen out of compliance. Usually with a past grant, it usually means you're missing a report or you're missing an audit, that sort of thing. You cannot apply for state of Illinois grants. You cannot receive payments if you are on this Illinois Stop Payment List. The good news is if you do see that your organization is on this list, it's likely something that can be reversed. It's usually, just the submission of a missing item like a grant report. So if you do see that your organization is on that list, you can contact your former grant manager or your cognizant agency. For DCEO, you can contact us at ceo.granthelp@illinois.gov. And we can work with you to find out what got you on that list and how we can get you off of that list. This is another one of those that, it's important to check that pre-qualification status and look into how to remediate this issue because it could take a couple days to get the issue resolved. So you want to make sure that you give yourself ample time to remediate this issue. All right, lastly, the Illinois Department of Healthcare and Family Services, or DHFS. They have the authority to impose sanctions on entities and individuals. So if your entity is on the Illinois DHFS sanction list, you are not eligible for Medicaid reimbursement. You have been found in violation of an administrative rule, civil law, or criminal offense. So if your entity is on this list, your entity is considered not pre-qualified and you will not be eligible for state of Illinois grant funding. All right, a couple of other tips with the GATA grantee portal. Be sure to maintain a current and accurate contact list in the portal. You want to make sure that the right people at your organization have access to your portal page and that the right people are receiving notifications. So in this screenshot, you can see the button in the portal that says Manage. So you're on that main screen, you scroll down to Grantee Portal Access, and it says Manage. That will allow you to manage the access and the notifications. Another tip is you want to go into the portal and ensure that your fiscal year end date is accurate. This will come into play when it's time for audits. You want to make sure that that fiscal year end date is accurate in the portal. All right, so notice of funding opportunities. Every grant opportunity has a corresponding notice of funding opportunity document, also known as a NOFO. This is the document that lays out all important details of the program and how to apply, including program description, funding information, eligibility information, so who is eligible for this particular grant, how to apply for the grant. So you will be submitting your application through a Smartsheet link. You're not emailing it, you are uploading it on this website. So that link will be in the NOFO document. It will also go through the application review information. So the merit review committee, what are they going to be looking for? How are they going to be scoring grant applications for this opportunity? It'll also have the state awarding agency contacts. So it'll have that program contact in there. It'll also have CEO.grant help if you need any help with technical issues like the GATA grantee portal and that sort of thing. So this is the document where you'll find all the information for a particular grant. Other NOFOs can be found in the Catalog of State Financial Assistance, or CSFA. You can find not only notice of funding opportunities for DCEO grants, but in the CSFA, you can find those opportunities for all of the Illinois state awarding agencies. All right, so here's where you can find notice of funding opportunities associated with DCEO. So it is at dceo.illinois.gov/DCEO grants, and we'll put that in the chat. So you see this first screenshot here to the left, it says apply for funding. So that is where you would click and you would find all of the current grant opportunities with DCEO. Once you click on the grant opportunity that you're interested in, the screenshot on the right shows the summary page of all the important details. Well, some of the important details. I think they're all important, but the summary of it, and then you scroll down to application documents. So that first document there, it says NOFO supplement. That is what we mean when we say notice of funding opportunity, or NOFO document. That is the document that's going to contain all of the necessary information for that particular grant. All right, on to the Fiscal and Administrative Internal Controls Questionnaire, or ICQ. That must be completed in the GATA grantee portal annually to assess the grantee's ability to manage grants. The results are used by all Illinois state agencies, so it only needs to be completed once every state fiscal year. The results of the questionnaire may result in specific conditions. It helps to mitigate risk and build grantee capacity. Definitely want to note that this is not used punitively and will not affect whether or not your entity is receiving an award. The questionnaire will ask questions about your quality of management systems, your financial and programmatic reporting, your ability to effectively implement requirements, and your audits. So when you're on the main portal page, you scroll down to Fiscal and Administrative Internal Controls Questionnaire, and it will list each year and if you are due to submit an ICQ for this fiscal year. All right, so I'll just briefly talk about post-award requirements, just to kind of, lay out if you are awarded a DCEO grant, kind of what to expect. These post-award requirements will be laid out for you in the grant agreement. So you're going to know what items are due and when they're due. So no surprises with this stuff. You will be informed ahead of time. So throughout the life of your active grant, you're going to be submitting periodic financial reports and periodic performance reports to your grant manager. The reporting frequency varies and the due dates will be outlined in the grant agreement. Please keep in mind that an audit will be required for grantees when they have state expenditures during their fiscal year. Every entity will be required to submit a consolidated year-end financial statement and audit, or CIFER as we call it. You're going to upload these documents to the GATA grantee portal. Please keep in mind that there will likely be a cost associated with an audit. So the grantee is responsible for finding and hiring the auditor and any cost associated with that audit. The type of audit that is needed for your specific entity will be determined by the first step in the GATA grantee portal is called Step 1 Certification Form. So this table shows how the type of audit is determined. But like I said, that first step in the portal will guide you through that process and will determine what sort of audit is needed. But it goes by your total expenditures of federal awards and your total expenditures of state awards. All right, you have many resources available to you as a grantee throughout the life cycle of your grant. We've got the DCEO grantee resource site that can be found at dceo.illinois.gov/DCEO grants. This resource contains short video tutorials on many of the subjects that I've talked about today. We have made a large collection of these video tutorials. If you have additional questions about a particular GATA or grant related subject, or if you want to kind of take a deeper dive into those requirements, please check out those videos. We also have reference sheets and manuals on many of the topics that I've discussed today, like the GATA grant or the GATA new user guide. That's an important one that you're going to want to check out. You can also, on this website, sign up for our grant trainings and office hours invitation list. So if you sign up for this list, you will receive information about our monthly pre-qualification trainings and our monthly trainings on revolving topics. So many of the topics that I've talked about today, we take a deeper dive into those topics and we introduce a new one every month. We also have virtual office hours. Those are every Tuesday from 2 to 3. Myself and my colleagues in the Office of Accountability, we jump on this WebEx call. Anyone is welcome to join us and ask us questions related to grants and the GATA grantee portal or pre-qualification, anything like that. You're welcome to join us for those office hours. You can also reach us at any time at ceo.granthelp@illinois.gov. We are available to help you with the portal, with pre-qualification, with any of these items that I've talked about today. Please feel free to contact us, and we will help answer your question or kind of guide you in the right direction. So that is my presentation for today. I'll go ahead and stop sharing and I'll pass it back over to Gia. Thank you.
Great, Amber, thank you. Are there any other questions for Amber or her team members that have joined us today before we move forward with the final evaluation? All right, if there are no questions, we are going to ask that you please join us in an evaluation. We typically use Mentimeter for the evaluation. This Mentimeter screen should be showing now. We are also adding access to Mentimeter in the chat. So there are two opportunities. You can type in menti.com, NENTI.com, and type in the code 27621856, or there should be an additional link there. If you click the link, it should take you right into Mentimeter. So you can get in either way. And we're asking that you log in for just a second here. And this takes about 5 minutes. And join us for this evaluation. If anyone is having trouble logging in, let me know, and we will provide some assistance to help you. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start with the first question. Again, if you look in the chat, you can do it on your screen, but you can also do it on your phone if that is easier to navigate because you are actually seeing the shared screen on your device. So you can use a phone or a separate device, menti.com 2762-1856, or just click the link. And the link will it'll take you right into Mentimeter where you can respond to the evaluation. We see that we already have a response. Thank you so much for your feedback. I'm going to give others an opportunity to provide us with feedback. Your feedback is important to us. It gives us an opportunity to improve our program delivery. So thank you. We have a few more responses. Thank you so much. I'll give just another second for others if you're still trying to get logged in, and so that you can provide your feedback as well. Great, thank you. The second question is, was this relevant to what you wanted to learn about the subject? Careful here because sometimes Mentimeter will switch up the order of the responses, so they might not be in a logical sequence. So be mindful of that when you respond. This course was relevant to what you wanted to learn about the subject matter. Thank you for those who are responding. This is helpful. Thank you. Another second for others who would like to respond. Great, thank you. Okay, the next question, I plan to apply what I learned. I plan to apply what I learned. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Awesome, thank you. What improvements might you recommend? So what is it that we might be able to do to improve our programming? Feel free to also add an A if there aren't any specific recommendations, but we really do appreciate specific recommendations. Great, thank you. I know sometimes it takes a few minutes to type in comments. Thank you. Great, thank you. Any others? Thank you so much. We appreciate the feedback. Okay. So what did you find effective? I feel like some of you have already kind of responded to this question, but if we choose to make changes, is there anything in particular you recommend we keep? So if we decide to make changes to the programs, is there anything in particular you recommend we keep? And again, if you feel like your comment for the prior question covered this, NA is fine. Thank you. Okay. One last question and we are done. It is, oh, we have here info. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you. So our last question is there anything else about this course you think we should know? So is there anything else that we have not inquired about, but you think it would add value if you shared it with us that will impact future courses? While you are responding to this last question, I will ask that the link to the NOFO site is shared with you in the chat. All of our NOFO webinars are listed at the very bottom of our NOFO page under information sessions. In addition to that, a recording of this session will be made available. It typically takes about 72 hours. Thank you for that feedback. That's helpful. All right. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you to Amber and her team for joining us. Thank you to the Illinois Works team, and have a wonderful day and week.
Thank you.